So yeah, thank you again for coming. Welcome, and we'll just get started in about 5 minutes or so, just so everyone has time to enter. Madison, it's still saying like loading for your slideshow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I can screen share if
Is that
oh yeah, now it's okay. Try
okay?
going back into slideshow mode.
Because it says, wait, 1 second. Um, it's like saying resume share.
Yeah.
Maylot, do you want to try sharing?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second. Madison, could you stop screen sharing? Can you all see this? Perfect. Okay. Madison, just let me know when you want to get started.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I think we should wait maybe 2 more minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody to Intro to the Environmental World. This is day 1 of our winter workshop series, and this winter workshop series is hosted by EcoMoco. So we're going to get started.
So first, if our EcoMoco officers want to introduce themselves, these are our presidents of the organization.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming today. It's super exciting to see you all for our first workshop. My name is Lumina Zong. I am a sophomore at Churchill, as well as the co-president and co-founder of EcoMoco. This is our first time doing such a big project with so many different workshops together. So we're so excited. Thanks so much to our amazing environmental education department for hosting this first one. But just a quick introduction about EcoMoco. EcoMoco is a student-led environmental advocacy organization focused on leadership development as well as environmental awareness.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Boyko. I am the other co-president and co-founder of EcoMoco. We're so excited to kick off our first workshop of EcoMoco's Winter Workshop series with environmental education presenting their first workshop. I am a freshman at Northwest High School. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm so excited to be here today and so excited to see everyone join us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to our officers. So now we're going to move on to our environmental education team. So this is not our full team, but here's just a little introduction. So my name is Madison Watts. I go by she, her, and I'm a 10th grader at Rockville High School.
Hi, my name is Mayla. I go to Springbrook High School and I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm a 9th grader at Richard Montgomery High School.
So a quick overview about what we're planning to get through during today's workshop. We're going to start with an icebreaker and a poll just so we can get to know what you guys know as well as get to know each other. And then for the second section of the workshop will be the information section where we're going to provide a few key statistics and pieces of information we think are great to know. And then we'll move into an activities and applications part, which I think will be pretty fun.
All right, so we're going to start off with our icebreakers and introductions. So in the chat or unmuted, please say your name, school, grade, and one fun thing you did over winter break. So I can start. My name is Hannah. I go to Richard Montgomery High School. I'm in 9th grade. And one fun thing I did over the break was going ice skating.
I'll go next. I already said my name, school, and grade, but I'll just add on. One thing I did over winter break is I also went ice skating, but I also went to Topgolf for the first time, which was really fun. You guys should go if you haven't gone there before.
And then in the chat, we have, hello, my name is Timmy, and I'm a sophomore at Springbrook High School. One fun thing I did over winter break was sleeping. So I agree. And then something from, hi, I'm Faye. I'm a 12th grader at Poolsville High, and I got to crochet a lot over winter break, which was fun. That's really cool. Yeah.
I hope something fun happens this week for you, Michelle.
I can also go next. So my name is Peter. I'm a freshman at Northwest High School, and I went to Great Falls over winter break, which was really cool.
I can also go. One fun thing that I did, since I've already introduced myself, is I got to see my cousins who live in DC. And I haven't seen them in a while, so that was really fun to just like be able to talk to them. We have Lillian and Sam.
You guys, I already introduced myself. But one fun thing I did over winter break was watch the new Avatar movie that came out. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a solid movie. You could like tell they put a lot of money into it, but
Oh, okay.
it was a good movie, yeah.
Okay.
And feel free to like unmute if you guys just want to like, say it out loud.
Thank you for the introductions, everybody. And if you ever want to add some information about yourself, feel free to drop that in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, so we will now be moving on to our poll. And this is just sort of to have a general understanding of the level of knowledge students have on the climate crisis. And we would ask that you please base your responses on how much you know about the environment. So you're going to see a little response sort of like box come up on your screen in a second. There it is. And so it just says, how much do you know about the climate crisis? And the options are, I know a lot about the climate crisis, I know general information about the climate crisis, or I do not know much about the climate crisis, but I'm interested in learning more. So please choose one of those.
Great, I think everyone has basically responded, so I'll just share the results really quickly. But 50%, oh, no, it just changed. 46% said I know a lot about climate crisis. 31% said I know general information, and then 23% said I do not know much about it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for responding, guys. And hopefully the people who said they don't know a lot will get to learn more. Okay. So a little bit about our organization and our department before we get started. Like we mentioned earlier, we are a student-led organization. We focus on environmental advocacy, and our department specifically works on like workshops and initiatives and hosting like events similar to these to create more awareness and education around environmental issues, so we can kind of like spur people to take change. Yeah. And let's get started with our workshop.
Okay, so kind of to like fully understand the climate crisis, it's important that we determine why it happens, right? So billions of tons of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere due to human activity, like the production of coal, gas, or oil. And this activity is what is fueling the record high greenhouse gas emissions that we see today, which is thereby causing like the intense climate change that we see today. So as you can see, climate change is the long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. So that could be just like the extreme like weather patterns that we're seeing. Like some effects of the climate crisis that we see are sea levels rising, food and water security being threatened, and like I said, extreme weather patterns, and just really big variability in temperature. So like it being very warm in winter is kind of a result of the climate crisis.
Okay, so that was sort of like the climate crisis on, the global scale, but just sort of, reducing it to Maryland or even MCPS. I know some people, in here might not go to MCPS, but this is just, a little bit of insight into some MCPS initiatives, but these are local environmental concerns. So a major one is the bus fleet. So as of last year, MCPS partnered with Highland in order to realize the goal of deploying the largest electric bus fleet in all of North America, which basically just means we're trying to electrify the bus fleet, make it more sustainable, make it more eco-friendly, and use this as our main form of transportation for students. Just so it's healthier for the environment, which has been great, and it's been making good progress. And then another concern is social housing. And social housing is basically like like has been a really big problem in all of Maryland, because many residents can say that rent, transportation, and overall housing is just not very ideal. And social housing is like the place you live, like what's around where you live, the transportation. But yeah, some people, say that it's not ideal for them. So that's something we want to work to get fixed.
Okay, so I know we've been talking about these environmental issues on more of like a vague term, right? But here I want to put some numbers and statistics, because I know a lot of people, like myself included, tend to believe things when there's actual information to back it up, right? So let's break down each of these numbers. So there's been, and this is all information from I think 2020, but there's been 1.3 billion tons of food waste annually, right? And this comes with the rise of fast food. And like if you go to McDonald's, you often get like a lot of material that you're meant to throw away instead of reuse, right? Alternatively, if you're eating at home, that's a bigger shift where you're using like reusable containers. So when you're also eating unhealthily, you're also kind of contributing to this unsustainable model with fast food, and that's not to say that you shouldn't eat out like ever, but it's more so to be conscious about your food choices. And an alternative that's come up to as a result of food waste is like composting. I'm not sure if any of you know of Compostology, but they're a student organization that's focused on like increasing composting within schools, right? So that's one solution. But yeah, there's a huge amount of food waste, and we do really need to address that. Next, we can also see that there's been 14 million tons of plastic waste. This is contributed to by not only containers and other materials, but also clothing. Because a lot of clothing is made by a lot of like plastic materials such as polyester, right? So if we look at like fast fashion again, fast food, fast fashion, it encourages this model where you're continuously like buying clothes and shopping without a sustainable model where you continuously use clothes, right? So there is this huge amount of clothing and plastic containers and plastic bottles and like bags, right, that are going directly to landfills instead of being reused, and that has huge detrimental like impacts on our environment. And then diversity, with the like decrease of our forests and similar like environments, there's been a 68% decline in the population of animals, and I think that's like a general statistic and not just from 2019. And then about annually 4.2 to 7 million people die from air pollution, and that's almost frightening because it's a result of human activity that these people are dying. So yeah, here are some numbers, and hopefully that convinces you a bit more that these concerns are true and urgent.
Okay, so we're now going to be watching a video on Greta Thunberg and climate anxiety. Just for a little background, Greta Thunberg is a climate activist and advocate, and she is young, just like everybody on this Zoom call. So it's just a really great sort of, kind of interview, just to see how like a young person can be making action, which we hope you all, do in one way or another. But yeah, so this is Greta Thunberg.
Can you hear it while I'm unmuted or no? No, okay.
There's a lot of people, Greta, that when it comes to this topic, they feel quite powerless. Before you yourself were on the global stage, we hear that you kind of did some campaigning to your parents, and it helped you it gave you more hope, I suppose. What is it that you were doing, like, to campaign to your parents?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you're a child, when you're like 8 or 10 or 11 years old, there is not much that you can really do to make a big difference. So then you start small. I started with turning off the lights at home to save energy, and that led to another thing, which led to another thing. And eventually I stopped flying. I I became vegan and so on. And then I got my parents to do that too, because I started talking to them and they started to listen to my concerns. And by making them change, it also gave me the sort of courage that I needed to move on, to start school striking. So starting somewhere is really good. Starting home, for example.
I think that's what they say, isn't it? Start where you are. Greta, these days you're still just 19 years old and you are a key voice in this huge global movement. That comes with a lot of pressure. What helps you deal with that?
I think the most important thing is knowing that we are so many people who are fighting for the same cause. I have so many friends who I can share this with, and who are also activists. And without them, it would not be possible.
Yeah, you hold those other activists close. I actually saw this amazing picture of you having fun, because you also like to have fun, with Malala Yousafzai. Now, those hats,
I was going to
Greta,
say.
I know that there's a story behind them. You knitted them, crocheted them?
I crochet them. Yes, that's what I do. I'm a frog hat factory.
You're not exaggerating, because I saw you earlier with one of your team, and there was several members of the group traveling with you. People had the frog hats on.
Yeah.
How many have you made now?
Maybe 25 or so.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Gosh, 25.
the new logo.
Yeah.
The logo. Like it. So you've channeled all of this knowledge that you've accumulated, Greta, into your new book called The Climate Book. It's not just written by yourself. You've got together more than 100 people, brought together their expertise, their knowledge, all into one place into this book. So I suppose, like, who are you hoping picks this book up?
I'm hoping to reach as many as possible. For me, this is a type of activism. I use whatever platform I have, whatever opportunity I have, to spread awareness to as many as possible, because I have the privilege to have the opportunity to do something, and therefore it is also my mission to spread awareness to as many as possible. The sort of idea with this is to send to those who have important things to say, whether it is scientists, experts, or activists living on the front lines, authors who can share stories about this. In doing so, I hope to communicate a holistic picture of all these crises that we face and make people connect the dots between them. So I hope that this can be some kind of beginner's guide to the climate emergency.
Yeah, it's important to you, I think, that the book contains so many different perspectives.
Mhm.
Why does that matter?
Because the climate crisis has so many different sides to it. It's not just the fact that the planet is heating up. It's also about droughts, it's about famines, it's about floods, it's about the displacements of tens of millions of people happening already earlier this month that we have seen. And there are different sides to this story that we must tell.
I mean, I mentioned earlier, Greta, about people feeling overwhelmed about this topic, and there might be people at home that are thinking, I don't know, how does little old me kind of make a difference or whatever? Like, what would you say to those people?
I would say that it's very understandable to feel overwhelmed, because the things we're talking about, the things we're dealing with, are existential threats to humanity, unlike anything the world has ever seen before. So it's very understandable to not know exactly where to begin and what to do about it. And that's why, for me, it helped to do something concrete, and that I started to read up more about it. I started to educate myself, and when I became fully aware of it, I sort of knew myself what I could do, and then I made the decision to start school striking for the climate. But also, as I mentioned earlier, connect with other people who feel the same thing, who share the same values as you, because when you're together in this struggle, then there are no limits to what you can accomplish.
Yeah, brilliantly said, Greta, and thank you very much for your time.
Great, and I hope you guys were able to take away something. I think it's pretty inspiring to like see somebody that's kind of our age really making a difference. I think she's a little older than all of us, but it's okay. But yeah, she's managed to do so much with so little.
All right, so some current MCPS sustainability initiatives. So Fridays for Future, you may not know this, but Greta Thunberg was actually like the person who kind of created Fridays for Future. It's an international youth-led movement for climate justice, but there are many like chapters in MCPS, like in Julius West Middle School or Richard Montgomery High School. So if you have a Fridays for Future club at your school and you want to do work like Greta or just combat climate justice, it's definitely a good club to join. There's also the electric bus deployment that we talked about earlier. So as you know, MCPS is partnering with the company Highland to deploy an entirely new electric bus fleet, which will be the biggest in North America. And this will just, like Madison said, help keep the environment more sustainable and eco-friendly. So you should be looking forward to that in like the coming years. And then MAEOE, which stands for the Maryland Association for Environmental and Outdoor Education, is a nationally recognized program that allows schools and their communities to evaluate their efforts in environmental sustainability. So MAEOE just kind of like empowers students to like make their schools more sustainable. And MAEOE actually has a green school program. So if you're interested in maybe starting a green school program, like, you know, having solar panels or like using geothermal energy in your school, you can talk to your science teacher or like principal about that and kind of start an initiative to make your school a green school, because it definitely does make a difference. And I can put more information to the chat about that, but if you're interested in that, that's always an option.
Okay, and this was just a quote I found. And it says, "The truth is the natural world is changing and we are totally dependent on that world. It provides our food, water, and air. It is the most precious thing we have and we need to defend it." And that is by David Attenborough. And I really thought this, just this comment was really impactful, because it's true, the world is changing and we are really dependent on everything it's given us and everything that it will continue to give us. But in order for it, to provide for us, we definitely need to defend it. And by being here tonight, I mean, that's already, working sort of to defend it, but we need to turn that, attention and efforts into action. So we should definitely make more actions to defend it as the youth. But yeah, so it's just a really impactful quote. So yeah.
All right, so other environmental or advocacy organizations in MCPS. So first off is MCR. It's the Regional Student Government Association, and it's essentially an association of all the student governments, high school student governments in the county. So if you are in Montgomery County and you're a high schooler and you're looking to join MCR, it's definitely a good way to get involved in student leadership, and more specifically in environmental advocacy. You can definitely join one of their task forces, which is like more specialized topics, but you can also do it like just comprehensively in like one of their general departments. So if you're like looking into policy, maybe you can like find policy about like the environment and maybe propose that if you're looking into MCR. And then MACE or MASC is essentially MCR, but it's all of the student government associations in Maryland. So again, if you're kind of looking to like go into policy or educational or something like that, but you're also looking to go into the environment, you can definitely join MASC and, like fight for climate justice. And then MoCo GND is a little more specialized towards the environment, and it's an organization that highlights climate justice and social housing equity. And I know that they have internships during the school year or over the summer. And I think they like just released applications for their new internship. So if you want, I can put that information in the chat. But yeah, it's definitely a good way to learn about climate and like different aspects of the climate and even how to protest if you're interested in that. I was a part of it, and I think it's actually very like useful for you as an advocate. Okay, and then Lynn Harris is an at-large Board of Education member, and she actually has an internship, so that specializes in many different county issues, sustainability included. So if you're looking to get more involved with just the Board of Education or like meet new people, make connections, that's definitely a good way to do so and like focus on sustainability as well. And then compostology is as Malat mentioned earlier, it's a non-profit organization that diverts school food waste from incinerators to compost facilities. So if you're kind of looking into like the compost aspect of the environment and you're trying to find a good organization, I'm pretty sure they do meet with SGAs and schools like very frequently. So just maybe look out for that at your school if you want to like go to one of their meetings, or like if you have a compostology club at your school, it's definitely a great organization to join. And then there's MCJC, which is the middle school counterpart of MCR. So it's a collection or like an association of all the middle school government associations. And again, if you're kind of looking to go into environmental advocacy, but more comprehensively, then you can definitely do so through MCJC. So yeah.
So what we're trying to get at here, and I think the slide helps get that message across, is just to think green, and whether that's like within your own life or going out and like advocating for greener policy or more sustainable activities within your school, just like anything that promotes a sustainable culture instead of something that is like inherently wasteful, is a step in the right direction.
And then also real quick, we're just gonna jump into breakout rooms for a few minutes, just so you know, we can have some time to discuss what we've learned. So hopefully you guys should get like an invitation, or breakout room should be open. But yeah, and so in these rooms we would like you guys to talk about what you thought about the Greta Thunberg video, so just like a reflection, you know, the initiatives, and just what you've thought about, you know, the climate crisis and local environmental concerns so far. So
Yeah.
we'll meet back in maybe 10 minutes. if
Yeah,
that
I
works.
think 6:45 sounds good.
Okay.
We're gonna have one facilitator in each of the breakout rooms. So facilitators, if you guys could lead the discussions. And everyone, you guys can join the breakout room now. All right, y'all, people should be coming back in 50 seconds. Hey.
Hi everyone, how did your breakout room discussion go?
Ours is pretty fun. I feel like me and Faye got good conversation going.
That's great. My group was very, very active. It was really good. Seems like a lot of people are interested in like trash pickup. So Peter, we need to talk more.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. I feel like my group mostly talked about kind of like the intersectionality between like environmental issues and like other fields. I thought that was really cool. Like someone brought up like environmental racism and like the socioeconomic parts of it. And I like the tech, kind of using like tech and innovation. So I kind of thought that was like a cool thing that we discussed.
That's super cool. Wow.
Yeah, in my group, we discussed sort of like how to get involved in advocacy organizations and where to start, since it can be sort of like a kind of rough sort of field to dive into. But yeah, we talked about that and about the electric bus symposium and like social housing. So yeah.
Our group kind of just like focused on Greta Thunberg's speech and kind of like how we thought it was cool that she was doing so much at a young age.
That's great. And we had 4 groups, right? That's it.
Oh, and our group, we were talking about a lot of things. We were talking about Greta Thunberg, and we all loved how she had, a side hobby of crocheting frog hats. That's really cool. Environmentalists can have other hobbies too. And we also talked about how, pollution and specifically air pollution is affecting many people and can even be fatal, and animals as well. And yeah, we had a great discussion.
So yeah, I hope you guys all keep the Think Green idea in mind past this workshop. And Madison, if you want to get us started on the activity, or should I start it from here?
Yeah, definitely. Do you mind like allowing me to screen share, because I think I've pulled
Yeah, you already had it open, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, so now we're just gonna get into Uplookit, and this is I'm pretty sure this is like the cafe one, but this is just about sort of just a beginning for environmental sort of information. So just goes like that. And then please feel free to join. Or like we encourage you to join. It's also in the chat. Okay, and I think we're gonna get started, and you can feel free to join late as well. But yeah, we're just gonna get started so we don't run out of time. We have Jason in first place.
Olga in close second, and then Lucy. Oh, and Olga takes first.
First place.
Jason with $224.
There. Second.
Kirthi, you should be able to rejoin. Just like put in the code again. I think Jason might be our winner here.
I love the Blinkit music. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's superior to Kahoot music.
Really, I think it is like top tier. I don't think you can beat it now.
I mean, it's just like so relaxing.
I wonder how Jason got $500. Like, am I missing something to get that good booklet?
I'm just like upgrading the shop.
Look, I don't use the shop, so I think that might be my problem.
Okay, and we're just gonna do about 1.5 more minutes so we can get to closing, but try to get as many cafe items as possible now, and then we're gonna come. Okay, so we're gonna count it down. So I'm gonna say 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good job, everyone. Let's see our winners. Okay, third place is Hannah. And then second place is Maylat, W. And then first place is Jason. Good job, everyone.
Good job, guys. Yeah, congrats.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you for playing, and I hope that showed you that you learned a lot today. And thank you guys for coming. We really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed this workshop and our, I think, pretty cute slides. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at this above email, and then we also have an Instagram that you can reach us at. And be sure to check our Instagram. We have a lot of updates for like future projects.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Greatly
I'll
appreciate it.
just, oops, sorry. I'll just chime in really quickly. I'm gonna drop a few things in the chat. So that's our Instagram, our organization email and also our Discord. So we have a Discord that any MCPS student or any Maryland student can join really. So make sure to join our Discord so you can stay updated on all of our meetings, and also an exciting upcoming opportunity that we're gonna release more information about. If you're in elementary school, we're gonna have an elementary school committee that you can join, because we know that it's so hard to get involved with advocacy when you're super young, but we want to open that opportunity to you. So if you're in elementary school, make sure to check that out, which is gonna come out really soon.
And this was the first day of the winter workshop series. So if you like this and want to learn a little bit more, there's going to be continued workshops throughout the rest of this week. So yeah, please feel free to join those Zooms if you were interested.
And you can join those Zooms by joining the Discord if you haven't already. We'll post the Zoom link a couple hours before. So yeah.
So thank you all so much for coming. We hope you enjoyed this.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Let us know if you have any
Bye.
questions.
Bye, guys.
All right, presenters, if you guys can stay on really quickly, I want to get a quick picture. Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. And Lumina, you can stop the recording now, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect.